is. Faith is not a blind belief. It is the strength found in our shared community and the convictions that shape our nation.
Welcome to Faith in America, exploring political and patriotic themes for a stronger nation.
No profit in wrongdoing. Immigration, justice, and a biblical perspective. Welcome to the program. Today we're tackling a difficult and often emotional issue, immigration. Specifically, what's often called the anchor baby debate. And we're going to look at it through a different lens. Not politics first, not emotion first, but principle first. In criminal law, there's a long-standing concept. If someone commits wrongdoing, they should not gain benefit from it. That principle shows up in fraud cases, theft, and even inheritance law. So the question we're asking today is this: can that same principle be applied to immigration policy? And what does the Bible say about justice, fairness, and compassion in situations like this? In criminal investigations, authorities follow a simple idea. If a person commits a crime, they cannot benefit from it. A thief cannot keep stolen goods. A fraudster cannot keep ill-gotten gains. A person cannot profit from harming another. Even in civil law, there's something called the Slayer Rule. A person who commits murder cannot inherit from their victim. Why? Because allowing profit from wrongdoing encourages more wrongdoing. It undermines justice itself. Justice, by definition, requires that wrongdoing not be rewarded. Now let's carefully apply that principle to immigration. The argument some make is this: if someone enters the country unlawfully and then receives long-term benefits or legal advantages as a result of that unlawful act, does that violate the same principle? This is where the anchor baby debate comes in. The idea that having a child in the country may provide a pathway to benefits or protection from removal. Supporters argue the child's innocent and deserves full rights. Compassion and humanity must come first. Critics argue the system creates an incentive structure. It may unintentionally reward unlawful entry. So we're left with a tension: justice versus compassion, law versus mercy. And that tension is not new. It's actually deeply biblical. Scripture does not ignore either side of this issue. God is a God of justice. Proverbs 21:15 says, when justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers. Justice matters to God. Laws matter. Order matters. Romans 13 teaches us that governing authorities exist to uphold order and restrain wrongdoing. But God is also a God of compassion. At the same time, Scripture repeatedly commands care for the foreigner. Leviticus 19:34, the foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself. Deuteronomy 10:18-19, he defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow and loves the foreigner residing among you. So the Bible does not permit cruelty or indifference towards outsiders. Responsibility and consequences. However, Scripture also teaches personal responsibility. Galatians 6:7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Actions have consequences. That principle applies universally. Here is where the conversation becomes mature and difficult. If a system unintentionally rewards unlawful behavior, it may need reform. That's a justice issue. But if innocent people, especially children, are harmed in the process, that's a compassion issue. The Bible never tells us to choose one over the other. Instead, it calls for both. Psalms 89:14. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Love and faithfulness go before you. So what does that look like in practice? Laws that are clear and consistently enforced. Policies that do not incentivize wrongdoing. Compassion that protects the innocent. Wisdom that avoids punishing children for the actions of their parents. We need a heart check. Before this becomes purely political, we need to ask a deeper question. What is our heart posture? Are we motivated by truth or by anger? Are we seeking justice or simply control? Do we value human life or just legal outcomes? Micah 6:8 gives a powerful summary. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Not just justice, not just mercy, both. The principle that no one should profit from wrongdoing is a valid and important one. When applied to real-world issues like immigration, it must be handled carefully and with wisdom, humility, and deep respect for human dignity. Because behind every policy debate are real people, real families, and real lives. The challenge for us as believers is not just to be right, but to be righteous. To uphold justice without losing compassion. To stand for truth without losing love. Thanks for listening today. If this episode challenged you, share it with someone. These are conversations worth having. Not in anger, but in truth and grace.